And now we have hangers-on, part of the mob, who are attacking people who go and watch the symphony, who go to restaurants, who went to the football game yesterday in St. Louis, spitting on people, attacking people, carrying the flag upside down. Now, these people doing that, these sound like they want justice or they want a lynching. An old style, you know, you've seen these westerns on TV where they charge the jail and they grab the guy. Yeah, is that what they want? I think they do. But I also said something the other day, last week or the week before, doesn't matter, that this thing is ginned up and this thing is red hot, and we've had some hosts and some commentators say, I'm not talking about Ferguson anymore, and I said, I'm keeping my eye on it because the left is stoking for a riot. And I also said, and I believe this, that the left wants to use this to do what they can to turn out the vote in minority communities. That's why Obama was involved. That's why Holder was involved. And you know what? The New York Slimes on Saturday confirmed this. Now, they would never admit that they confirmed it, but they did. Black vote seen as last hope for Democrats to hold Senate. Washington. The confidential memo from a former pollster for President Obama contained a blunt warning for Democrats. Written this month with an eye toward Election Day, it predicted crushing Democratic losses across the country if the party did not do more to get black voters to the polls. Quote, African-American surge voters came out in force in 08 and 012, but they are not well positioned to do so again in 2014. Well, gee, I wonder why. How's that economy going on in the metropolitan areas? It's awful. It's a disaster, particularly for minorities in our urban areas. The pollster, Cornell Belcher, wrote in the memo dated October 1, in fact, over half aren't even sure when the midterm elections are taking place. And this is why you hear Obama and Mrs. Obama going out and say, get off your sofa. Don't go to sleep, vote. By the way, just the most stereotypical, outrageous comments. But they're liberals and they're minorities, so they can say whatever they want. Mr. Belcher's assessment points to an urgent imperative for Democrats to keep Republicans from taking control of the Senate, as many are predicting. They need black voters in at least 4 key states. Yet the one politician guaranteed to generate enthusiasm among African Americans is the same many Democrats want to avoid, Mr. Obama. Now Democrats are deploying other prominent black elected officials and other surrogates buttressed by sophisticated voter targeting efforts to stoke black turnout. I'm sure our friend Reince Priebus is busy with his sophisticated turnout like he had in Virginia in that governor's race. Oops. At the White House, the president is waging an under-the-radar campaign, recording video ads, radio interviews, and telephone calls specifically targeting his loyal African-American base. Anybody who looks at the data realizes that if the black vote and the brown vote doesn't turn out, we can't win. It's just that simple, said Representative Marcia Fudge of Ohio, the chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus. If we don't turn out, we cannot hold the Senate. African Americans could help swing elections in Georgia, Louisiana, North Carolina, possibly Arkansas. Now, what do those 4 states have in common? 4 southern states. 4 southern states. 3 of them with Democrats, and in the case of Georgia, a close battle between the Republican and the Democrat. This is why they're keeping Ferguson, Missouri, hot as a poker. This is why. This is also why they're trying to treat voter ID as if it is a throwback to Jim Crow South, when it has nothing to do with the Jim Crow South. I've only talked about this 1,000 times, and my wonderful legal organization, Landmark Legal Foundation, has been litigating this issue for years. How is a voter ID card Jim Crow when you use a voter ID card that's issued by the government? Is the government Jim Crow? Are state governments Jim Crow? Is California Jim Crow? Is California the Jim Crow South? Illinois, Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, you name it, all these blue states, are they the Jim Crow South? Tell me, is the TSA the Jim Crow South? Tell me, is the 7-Eleven the Jim Crow South when you go there to buy booze and in some cases cigarettes? I want to see an ID. Oh, that's a Jim Crow South. Or is it the liberal who has his and her mindset in the Jim Crow South? Again, stereotyping minorities as too stupid to get a photo ID. Is it a Jim Crow South to get into the White House? Is the White House the Jim Crow South? Have you tried to go to Capitol Hill lately? Line after line after line of security? You have an ID? You damn well better. Is that the Jim Crow South? Mr. Holder, your Justice Department. You sit in an office. Across your office is my old office as Chief of Staff to the Attorney General. You know damn well that those guards at every entry to the United States Department of Justice require government-issued photo IDs. So I would ask Eric Holder this question. Are you running a Jim Crow South operation there, sir? They get away with this. They treat minorities like they're stupid. They treat women like they're stupid. And yet, they position themselves as their champions. They're not their champions. So, whether it's voter ID or this race baiting, this is the heart and soul of the Democrat Party, ladies and gentlemen. It always has been. Early in its history, early in its founding, it used the black man, the black woman, to turn out the white vote. Now it does the reverse. This is a party that's very diabolical. This is a party that has a totalitarian mindset. I just wish more and more people who've been ensnared by this, captured by this, conquered by this, bought off by this, could see the light. Freedom's a wonderful thing. It really is liberating.
Mark Levin.